G'day YouTube, hope you're all having a fantastic day. A few people have asked me to do a tour on my outdoor nepenthes, as you can see behind me. I'm in Sydney, on the coast, so we do have relatively good humidity all year round, and this, plenty of sunshine. Doesn't get below about 4 degrees would be our coldest nights, and even at that rate it's pretty low. So I thought I'd take you for a look around. Things aren't looking their best at the moment, but I'll do another one in sort of mid to late spring once everything's really bounced back, so you can have a better view of how things change throughout the season. Might as well start up here. And this is an example of, people say you can't grow nepenthes in full sun. I know they're not looking amazing, but these Ventricosa, these did have huge vines at my last place that I just had to cut back for the move. And these two pots were actually left in the carport at the front of the house for about 2 months after I moved. Got forgotten about, and I thought I'd actually managed to kill the Ventricosa, but sure enough, they came back. They're in desperate need of a repotting. Old rotten media, full of weeds, but it's on the to-do list. And next up is a red leopard. I'm not sure. No pictures on it at the moment. That one got a bit crushed trying to grow into the bark of this tree. A couple of Hoyas. Yeah, you can see the last of the red leopard pictures just starting to die back there. And I've had something coming around at night, possibly a little rat or a possum, which has decided it likes munching on growth tips and flowers, which is frustrating. This is my huge lowly Ventricosa red that I moved out a little while ago. It's getting a little bit burnt. I may try and give it a bit more shade by this tree if I can move it across a bit and maybe tie the stake off. Most of the pictures died off moving it from the greenhouse. That one's still looking quite nice. There's a nice one down there. That one looks like it's going to survive, but it's just got so many growth points on this thing. It's hard to know where to look, but hopefully this will settle in for spring and just be absolutely covered in big happy upper pitches as it vines up, and might head up this tree. As you can see, a couple of native dendrobiums I've planted in the bark. This is a king anium. I don't know if you can see that, but they're coming into bud. Nothing amazing, but a cute little flower. Next up is Ventricosa cross spatulata alata, regularly sold as Vent Spath lowlii, but it's definitely a typo or a mix up there. So this thing, the annoying thing about growing outside, if I can focus, some kind of grub keeps eating the flowers. I do have some pollen of this inside. There's a nicer picture in the fridge. If I can get. So I may use this for breeding, and I'm going to try and get some pollen off this. But you can see the growth tip's been munched off. That flower got munched off. That flower. Yep. Hopefully we'll make something cool out of that. This one I get asked about a lot. It's Ventricosa sibuensis cross Naga Bongzo, and these are by far the biggest pictures I've had on it, and they're looking jet black. I think they look more purple in the on the phone, but they're very dark. Nice basil coming up there. It's nice. Of course, all the good pictures are hiding, but just a nice little Ventricosa red. This is a female that I do use in quite a bit of breeding. Got some upper pictures in there as well. Nothing in flower at the moment, though I think I'm starting to feel the beginning of something forming. And nothing really good on this either at the moment. This was recently repotted, but it's a Rocco Diariana cross Ventricosa red. It's actually a beautiful peristome on this plant. Up next, we've got Ventricosa Northiana, which just has that beautiful peristome from the Northiana parent. Ooh, it's absolutely chockers full of something, I can't quite tell what. But that's got a couple of growth points going now. It did flower male for me. I did harvest some pollen, so we'll see what I can do with that. Topeka thorlei, which is now Topeka bochariensis. Also a female, but also the rat got to it and chewed the flower stalks and the growth points off. But that's taking off in all sorts of directions. A new vine there. See a spike full of seed pods on the Nepenthes Rocco, which I think is, yeah, this pot here in front of us. I keep forgetting to repot this every year, and now it's covered in flowers, and I think I've noticed some more coming. But that's this vine, runs up through there, comes back down here, got a side shoot up there. I'm sometimes not always sure what vines are just the Nepenthes Rocco. Maxima dark Tulliensis, that doesn't have any pictures at the moment. Took cuttings, repotted it. It's just settling in. Here's a nice little Maxima, which is just starting to shoot some little side shoots there. I think this one was from Brendan at New Naps. I believe it's a male. Hasn't flowered for me yet, but it's getting some nice vine going, some nice basils. And my first ever Nepenthes, which was Rebecca Soper, that is just a fantastic, easy growing plant. I got rid of the main plant a few years ago, but I kept a few cuttings for myself. Nice new picture coming in there. It's a bit hard to see. Ventricosa dubia. This settled in straight away after moving outside. It barely even dropped any pictures. So yeah, that's looking good. This huge, call it Veitchii platyhyla, I think, or possibly the other way around. Yes, no, Veitchii platyhyla from BE. This is absolutely stunning. It's vining away. I may take some cuttings at some point soon. What else have we got hiding in here? Sanguinea dark. I think in a previous video I called this Singulata, but definitely Sanguinea. Just stunning big pictures. These pictures have been on here for ages. These are from last summer. Looks like we're in intermediate back there. A slight change in the colour. A little tenuous tenure. Tenuidon tenuous from EP. It hasn't pictured for a while. Should bounce back in spring though. Maxima dark cross Veitchii lolii or lolii Veitchii? Lolii Veitchii. Another one settling in out here. Got some more Ventricosa. This is my other female. I've used in a bit of breeding. This throws plenty of spikes every year, so no doubt I'll get some more this year. And Ventricosa Burkii next to that. also female, also throws plenty of spikes. Yeah, there's another, that little bump in the stem there. It's probably a flower spike. It might be a little bit early to tell, but it's off. Possibly a Ventricosa, possibly Ventricosa burkii. It's become a bit of a shambles through here. There's another Rebecca soap. No, sorry, that's the first cross I ever made, which is the Ventricosa red further down and the Rebecca sopa. Sort of the lowers tend to look just like Rebecca sopa, and the uppers aren't far off. It's basiling and just something cool to hold on to. I think I've got a flower spike starting in there, although that also could be something else. Another flower spike here on Rocco. It's sort of mixed, getting very mixed results with pollinating through winter. Could have also been some older pollen on there. You can see some pods haven't formed properly well, so others look great. But we'll see what comes of it. There's a nice Ventricosa squat hiding in here. What do we got there? Vent Burke cross Rebecca sopa. So a lot of these are very easy growing. Definitely could you could definitely grow them in a windowsill, inside. Nice Ventricosa there. I'm not 100% sure which plant that comes from. Not sure which this one is. There's no pictures or anything on at the moment. That's all right. Down here, got my what is it? Boschiana cross Fusca, or Boschiana cross Zachariana, I believe it is now. Little spider keeping watch, and that winds up through there. The mouse got to the end of that one as well. Might have to put a trap out, I think. But it's got a female spike too. Again, some pods look like they're starting to form. Others look like they've failed, but it's alright. I know it's a female now. I can continue breeding with it. Another Maxima dark Costaliensis. So that pot in there. I think there's a... Oh, that is the basil. Okay. So that's what was left on the basil, and this skinny little vine is from the original growth. Ventricosa cross with St. Bryce, which is alot Australiana. Another great easy grower. There's a good picture down there. So sort of comes across as a nicer coloured Ventricosa, or slightly different coloured. Oh, this is the Ventricosa cross Sanguinea, which is just feasting on the local ant population. Which should give it a good feed to come into spring. Again, something munching on it. It's broken the tip too. Yeah, I might have to dig some traps up. Another little Rebecca sopa cutting. Some nice little pictures. And then these I moved out sort of recently. Veitchii Boschiana Northiana. This one seems to have got a little bit of sunburn moving out of the greenhouse, but really nice squat little pictures on this one. This one seems to have thrown a fit and thrown it all, but it's the really nice, you can still see the nice candy striping in the peristome, so I'm sure that'll settle back in. And the red peristome one, this usually goes really nice dark red through the peristome, almost like a lipstick red. Yep, looks like a new picture coming there, which is nice. Northiana cross Veitchii, which I'm suspicious if that's what it is, but time will tell. Nice little LVB in the lower picture. I took cuttings a couple of years ago of that, and it's finally coming back for me. Nice Maxima Dark cross Maxima M from John Yates. I grew from his seed. It's getting some good size now. What have we got? Truncata cross ovata cross epiphyata. Looks to be doing well. It occasionally gets a bit of the exudate under the lid from the epiphyata, but I'm really excited to see what the uppers do on this. I think it'll be a while off. It doesn't seem to be the fastest growing plant, but we'll see. And then onto my Rob Cantley. So it's not just the easy beginner species I'm growing out here. I've started moving some bigger things just because I'm just running out of room in the greenhouse, and I want to keep the smaller seedlings and stuff in there happy. Ventricosa cross Northiana cross Vici IK from Brendan up at New Naps. Just looks to be settling in, nice and grung. I'll duck over the other side. I just started to run out a bit of light, but should get through it all. A few things winding away in here. A nice Rocco Exotica Boschiana cross Vici Barrio. And it's dropped all its pictures since I got it. We've got some Maxima Dark cross Vici sprawling around in here. Definitely need to do something with these. Great big peristomes on them. Nice basil coming on that one. Might tidy them up a bit later. And see the possum damage there again. Nice Stenophylla out here. This seems to only really picture for me in spring and autumn, unfortunately. It doesn't like winter or summer. But still a nice plant. It's getting some size. I believe this is Red Dragon, which is Truncata cross Thorlei. This got also left on the ground after the move, and some bush turkeys got to it, so it's a bit beaten up, but it's coming back nicely. Another picture there. Boschiana Fusca cross Vici. Just had a few caterpillars on it, but it's, you know, it's going to look nice in spring, I think. And here is my monstrous female Truncata that, if anyone follows me on Instagram, saw. This is the one I repotted in autumn. There's a nice basil growth there. It definitely stalled for a while after repotting, but it is starting to put some new leaves out. It's one of the old pictures. You can see it definitely had some size. I can't wait to see what this basil does, and hopefully I can get some more flowers out of it. Truncata, I need to rub that. Truncata cross Vergelii in the nook of the tree here. Just looking good. I think there's a couple of growth points on there. New picture coming in there. And this is looking a little bit sunburnt on my... Yeah, I think I will move this out of the sun. This is a Truncata Giant cross Giant from EP that I got last week. Hasn't had time to harden off to life outside yet. And then there's the always stunning Peltata cross Truncata Giant, which this is definitely a small picture for. You can see the size comparison. It sort of shrunk as it dries up, but needs a bit of a clean up. Another big picture coming there. I think there's a couple more over the back. It's about 3 growth points on this in total. And next up is Truncata ovata, which took a while to settle in for me out here, but that's picturing nicely. Truncata Highland Red, which really hasn't coloured up on that picture. If I can get to it back here. That's got a bit of a nicer colour to it there. It's from BE, I think it's the Persian red form. Make sure I don't miss anything. As you can see, this has become my Truncata section. It's Truncata Alba, Truncata F from EP. The old picture back here. This is the last of the summer pictures is finally dying back, but that was an absolute tank of a picture. I do believe there's a small mouse in one of these, but once they finish dying back, I'll do an investigation. I might show you what I find. Nice Truncata Veitchii EP again, which I think it was over the other side of the tree and recently moved over here. Got a new picture coming back there. Another Maxima Dark Cross Veitchii. This is the flared peristome one from EP. A couple of big basils on it there. I did take cuttings last year, I believe, before I moved it out. Boschiana Veitchii, and from EP. Oh, and it's got a male spike coming up. I may move this inside to protect it a bit. This is a miscellaneous. No idea. It came out of a I grew it from Veitchii seed, but it looks like it could have Veitchii in it. Maybe a Veitchii Stenophylla or something similar. I don't know. I'll see what happens once it settles in. It had some nice pictures on, but I didn't get too many photos of it, so it happens. And then along here, it's just some easy growing plants. I took cuttings of red leopards, some Ventricosa, stuff like that, which have been a little bit beat up being out here for winter. A nice little picture on that one. Yeah, so I think that wraps it up for out here. As I say, out the backyard here, we definitely get a good swing in temperature, anywhere down to 4 degrees at winter. At night, the days are more like 18 to 20. Through summer, 30 degree days, 20 odd degree nights, but it can spike up to 40 in a really hot day a week. So hopefully not too many of them in the summer coming up. But yeah, hopefully everything's still doing well when I do the spring update, and I'll keep you posted. If you haven't yet, please jump on and hit the subscribe button, and till next time, thanks.